let's say it's 2009. This is in Portland, Oregon. Okay, so I'm living with my boyfriend in our apartment. We're sound asleep. Suddenly, we both snapped awake for no reason. There was no sound. I don't know what happened, but we both snapped awake. There was a shadow figure at the foot of our bed, standing at the foot of our bed. Like, I just opened my eyes, and I saw the shadow man, is what we eventually would call it, shadow figure at the foot of the bed in our very small bedroom, and I screamed out. We didn't talk about it. It was very weird. We just went straight to sleep out of fear. A day or two later, one of us remembered, and we were like, oh my God. And I was like, do you remember when I woke up the other night and I screamed? And he was like, yeah, there was that shadow figure. And I was like, you saw it too? Because I assumed he screamed as a response to me. But he described, he's like, yeah, I thought there was somebody in our room. Fast forward, let's say 5 years later. We're married now. We're living in Puyallup, Washington. We have our kids who are like 2 and 4. And we're living in a 1-story home. And our bedrooms are kind of side by side, but ours is at the end of the hallway, and there's a sensor light. If anybody walked down the hall, it would light up blue. So you'd see it light up. And at the time, our daughter was like 2 or 3, and she'd always come in the middle of the night and crawl into our bed. And so there was many nights in this house in particular where I would wake up, and in the corner of the bedroom, I would see the shadow figure. It's like the darkest point, and it was always in this like silhouette of like a person. Same thing, I would like wake up, see it, and just kind of like, ah! It would startle me, and I'd cover my head and I'd just go to sleep. So then my kids and I were gone, and it was just my husband home alone. We were out of town. And he said he was going to bed, he was falling asleep, and all of a sudden he saw the sensor light click on. Because we were so used to it, he didn't really think anything of it. He just was like, oh yes, whatever. And then he started to go to sleep, and he saw the shadow figure in that same corner where I always see it. And then he snapped into the realization of like, wait, like I'm home alone, what the hell? Somebody's in the house? So he got up and then got like he had a baseball bat. And then he searched the whole house because he was convinced somebody was in the house. He's all freaked out, doesn't find anything, and eventually goes back to bed like, oh, that was crazy, whatever. Doesn't tell me about this at the time. Like, because again, it's just like one of those things where you're like, that was crazy. And you kind of forget. Yeah, and you kind of just forget. So then maybe like a month later, I had kept seeing it in the same spot, in the same corner. And then there was a night where my kids shared a room, and all of a sudden we wake up to my son crying out, like calling for us. Scott went to the room, and this is like middle of the night. And so very unusual for him to wake up and call out. And so my husband went in, and my son was like pointing at the door, and he goes, the shadow man was watching me, the shadow man, and was pointing at the door. And none of us to this point have talked about this shadow man. So these are all like separate things that were happening. And at the time, I my husband was like, "You're all right, buddy. Go back to bed. You just had a dream. Go back to sleep." Didn't think about it. So then, same thing, like within that same month or so, because it got really active within like a month period, I'd say. And then there was my daughter. She'd come into our bed, and I noticed one morning when we were getting out of bed, it was just her and I, 'cause my husband had left for work. I got off my bed and I had to walk around it in like the corner of the room. It's the corner like at my foot of the bed. So I'd walk around my bed to get out of the room, and I noticed she like looked at the corner and then like scrambled across the bed. And she like wouldn't, because I was like, "Come on!" She like didn't get off the bed and follow me. She was nervously avoiding the corner, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And then my daughter, who's like 2.5 or 3, let's say she's 3, she points at the exact spot and goes, "No, Shadow Man." I don't know how it happened, but I think it was happening so frequently that finally one night, my husband and I were like, "I swear I keep waking up and seeing a shadow figure standing in the corner." And then he was like, "Oh my God, I never told you, but a month ago when you and the kids were gone," and he tells the story of when he saw the shadow figure in the corner, and then he, searched the house. And then he's like, "Also, I didn't think of this till now, but there was that night where Joel woke up and I went in and he pointed at the door and said the Shadow Man was watching me." And then I was like, "Oh my God, also our daughter, she pointed and so we like connected all the dots and we were like, holy shit, there's like something real." Okay, there's something, like we've all seen it, and none of us talked, and the kids are so young, they wouldn't talk. And so I have a recording of my son telling me about when he saw the Shadow Man.
You always so dark?
Okay, this is Joel. It's kind of hard to understand him, and honestly,
I went to your bed and it was always so dark. So, and then I saw a ghost, and I looked back, and then back out the door, and then Dad put me in your bed, and he said, "Do you want to sleep with Mama?" And I said, "Yes." So I sleep.
Where did you saw it in your room the second time?
Yeah. And the first time I saw it in your room.
Where in my room was it?
Right next to the door, just like right next to the door in our bedroom.
Oh, okay. Did you feel scared, or did you just feel like, what the heck?
I would say,
Those are the times you can remember?
yeah.
Okay.
And there are times that it happened in your bedroom.
That you saw?
Yeah. And I keep looking back and forth.
And you don't think you were dreaming?
No.
so all of that was happening, and so then I'm like convinced, I'm like, okay, there's definitely like something, and I do believe in ghosts and whatever. And so also at this time, I had started going to church, which I am not religious, but we had put our son in the best preschool in town. Happened to be like through a mega church, like a Foursquare. It was Treasure Island Preschool. It was really nice. So we had him going, even though and my ex-husband was raised religious. I was not, but I was just kind of like, I'm down for whatever. And so I was just desperate for like a break from the kids. The other parents that I got to know, they'd be like, "Oh, do you guys go to the church on Sunday?" And I was like, "Well, no, not really." And then they're like, "Oh, you should come." And so finally I was like, okay, I'll go, because they're like, "Yeah, you check the kids into the daycare." And it's a mega church. So I went once and I was like, this is great, free childcare. They had an espresso stand, and then they had a really good live band with lights and fog machines. It was mega church. It was really cool. And so I was like, I don't feel the Holy Spirit, but I'm here for the show. So one day when all of this is happening and I'm like, okay, my kids are being affected. That's when I got mama bear, where I was just like, fuck this shadow man, like, don't mess with my kids. And so then I started to Google, and I was like, okay, I need to like go. So I went around the house and was doing like any energy is not welcome. And I ordered sage off like Amazon. And I was like starting to like, okay, what do we got to do? And so I went to church that week, and I'm just like making small talk with this mom friend that I kind of got to know. And she was just like, oh, what's been, how are you? And I just didn't know what to talk to her about. And so I awkwardly was like, oh, well, crazy story. We have like this shadow man ghost situation, and it's been kind of crazy. And I was just telling her like it's kind of a, crazy story. And she got really like,
I'm sure.
really freaked out and was like, that's really serious. Like,
Wow.
and so I was like, oh yeah, what, like, whatever. That same day, I was out with the kids after church, and I got a missed call from her, and I have a voicemail. She's like, hi, Mallory, so-and-so. And she's like, I spoke to my husband, and they were like super, super Christian. She's like, I told my husband about the situation, and he's really worried. So he just wanted to let you know, he went to your house and parked out front, and he prayed over your house.
Oh.
And he had a very real encounter with whatever it was. And I just want you to know that it is gone. But
Hey Mallory, this is Jacqueline. Zach just met me over at my mom's house, and he's just like shaking. He said that he's really, really been praying over your house and had like a very real encounter with whatever creepy spirit has been at your house, and he said he's just really been praying over that, and he said to tell you that it has been removed, but you can't leave the space empty, so you have to find something to fill the space, like, and pray over that. Otherwise, in the future, the space, does that make sense? You could call and talk to him about that if what I'm saying doesn't make any sense. But anyway, he just wanted to let you know that he really has been praying over your house in that situation, and without a doubt feels that spirit has been removed, but to make sure to, pray over that and fill that space up with something holy, not creepy and scary. So anyway, hopefully my message makes sense, and I hope you're having a lovely evening. But I will see you tomorrow.
from that point on, we never saw it again. And it did feel like the house, the energy was like better.
Wow.
And again, I'm not, and then I stopped going to church because I don't care.
Bless up, man.
I know, but they were like fully believed it too. And I think that's all of the Shadow Man story.